Beware, when you slap the devil, he may slap back. The Lodge is following in the same release schedule as Parasite. Limited runs in limited theaters over weeks and weeks and months. So when it finally gets to your city and you're able to see it, should you? A woman is snowed in with her fiancé's 2 kids in an isolated mountain house when strange things begin to happen. This isn't your typical horror or thriller. There aren't any jump scares, there's very little blood, and the pace is very deliberate. This swings more towards the psychological thriller genre than horror, and even the word thriller might be misleading. It's tense and anxiety-inducing, but not really that edge-of-your-seat type of feeling. I mean, this thing will suck you in slowly and then wrap its hands around your throat and not let go. I love that there are parts of this that seem to be very predictable, but then they throw in a little bit of doubt. But also on these predictable moments, like there was one scene where an explanation is given and I was like, really, this is what you're going with. Okay, so this is what the film is gonna be. And they commit to that bit so much that I truly then question, is this really it? Am I wrong? And I like that they did that more than once, that they took us on this journey. And so while you think it's predictable, and some of it you may guess, and some of it you might be right, but I found myself being surprised more often than not because it caught me off guard. Like they were so comfortable with taking me down this path and going at it for a while so that well, why would I question it now? Because typically with a twist that you have or any type of misdirection, you go for a little while and then you move over here. This one they went for a bit before turning it on me and making me re-question everything. There are some overused scenes of a model house and that made it feel like a Hereditary wannabe, but I understand what they were doing and the purpose behind it now that I've seen the entire thing and I have all of it in context. So I'm willing to forgive that a little bit. I still wish that maybe they would have used less of it, but I get what they were doing with it. Riley Keough is the lead in this and she kills it. She is playing the woman who's engaged to the kid's dad. And at times, because of her past that we're shown, and we're not shown a ton of it, but we're shown enough that it puts into doubt what she's saying, what she's seeing, what she's experiencing, that at times she becomes an unreliable narrator. And that is awesome because then she just plays it so well and adds to our unease and our misdirection. And the way that she portrays her character, I mean, she's fully in and it's wonderful to watch. The 2 kids are played by Jaeden Martell and Lia McHugh. And both of them have really good chemistry together. And then when you put them with Riley Keough, the 3 of them, that triad is awesome. And it's kind of dysfunctional, but you kind of also get that because you have a woman who's going to be a stepmom and 2 kids who are not necessarily ready to have a stepmom. And there's a whole lot of dysfunction even before Riley Keough gets there. And I love that. And I love their dynamic all together. We also have Alicia Silverstone and Richard Armitage in there, and they have relatively small roles. So really, the film comes down to the 3 main players. It's Riley Keough and the 2 kids, and they're the ones that drive the majority of it. They're the ones that are in most of the scenes and without anybody else. And again, they're isolated in this cabin, and it's not really a cabin. I mean, it's a very large house, but it's out in the middle of nowhere, and it's a snowstorm, and so it just adds to the isolation and the loneliness and alone, which adds then to the craziness, the creepiness, the unease, the anxiety of everything that they begin to experience. I want to say there wasn't a lot of marketing that was done for this film. I mean, I remember seeing 1 or 2 trailers, but then it kind of died off and I didn't see anything. So I went into this pretty blind because it had been a while since I saw any of those trailers. I liked that. I liked the fact that I didn't really remember everything that was going on in it or what they had shown in the trailers, so I got to just experience everything as new. And that's also why I'm not giving you any type of spoilers in this, because I want you to be able to experience the exact same thing. Now, this is a patient movie, like I said before, but it's not meandering. I mean, they take us on a journey, and it's deliberate, but they wreck us along the way. And I really love the ending too, mostly because of what's not shown. But we are given a final image in which to deduce what's actually going to happen. and I love it. I don't think it's ambiguous in the ending at all. I like that this doesn't have to rely on special effects or camera tricks. The atmosphere does it all. I mean, it sets up the creepiness and the unease, that tension, that anxiety, just everything that goes into a good psychological mess with your head type of thriller. This movie is a lot of fun with emotional triggers and psychological tweakings, but if you lean more towards The Nun for your horror binging, then this may not be up your alley. It may not be something that you enjoy. But if you liked Hereditary or Midsommar or The Witch, then this might be right in your wheelhouse, and I think that you could get a lot of enjoyment from The Lodge. There's brief sex, some nudity, some profanity, and some graphic violence. I give The Lodge 4.5 out of 5 couches. So what is your favorite cerebral horror or thriller? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for catching with me.